Are we
All right.
there?
All right. Yeah, we're in.
Here we are.
Just trying to
Go,
John
throw
S.
Daniel.
y'all
Stoney,
off.
thank
What?
you.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zeros to Heroes, episode 33. Beep, 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 beep. Where's my soundboard, guys? I'm just kidding. this
Wait,
is
wait,
gonna
wait. I
be
can
a.
actually get. I can actually
Oh,
get a
okay.
soundboard here. Go.
Hold. We're
What
holding.
did you
We're
want? You
holding.
want the air horn?
Air horn. Welcome to an episode 33. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
My name is Daniel, and here I have the wonderful Juliet S. Fern, Mel S. Sunny, Beck S. Rip, John S. Stoney, and our DM, Jack, who has a crazy awesome episode for us today. So welcome, and Jack, I hand this to you.
Thank you.
Take it,
Welcome
take
back
it.
to Dicey Decisions, folks. Dicey Decisions RPG. Hey, one thing that we don't mention is join us on Discord. We have the tavern on Discord that you can join us and give comments and suggestions and tell people what to take when they level up and whatever. Help us name our episodes. So, yeah, look for us Dicey Decisions RPG on Discord. Look for our uh, watching on Twitch, of course, on Monday nights from 7 to 9 Central Time. And all of them are eventually released on YouTube. So check them out there if you missed a live show and give some comments or thumbs ups and stuff like that. All right, players, we ready?
Hey, wait. I'm one of
Ready
those.
to go?
I think.
You are.
I think.
Hopefully, we're ready because I'm ready.
Are you a player or a player?
Probably neither one right
All.
now.
All I know is you don't hate the player. You only hate the game. Apparently, someone said that.
I hate the game. Who's talking
and the
about
player.
me? Who's talking shit
So,
about me?
we're
Think
in some type of mood today.
Alfred
Oh
Albert
yeah.
Einstein said that.
Oh yeah,
Albert
yeah,
Einstein.
Or is it Abe
absolutely.
Lincoln?
I
I
thought it was
hereby decree
Confucius.
we welcome all the silly goofiness today.
Lean
Okay,
into it,
well, we
y'all.
might need it because it may come up.
Wow.
So, soft breeze follows the driving storm. The air's cool and crisp, the promise of an oncoming cooler season. Standing before you, outside the broken logging construct, towers an ancient willow treant, its trunk like chest split open to reveal a dryad hanging down, attached with tubes and vines and xylem and phloem. This is the voice of Lady Aphathil. The lady herself stands almost as tall as the tree and takes in the scenery, the bald mountaintop and distant woods, as she breathes deeply through her mismatched nostrils. Varied, colorful mushrooms and toadstools carpet the ground around you and are still swelling atop the wooden piles and structure nearby, silently decomposing and recycling as they grow tendrils of mycelium into the wood. I need everyone to roll a charisma saving throw. Charisma save.
It's an 11.
Okay.
It's a
11.
toasty 11 for me as well.
Wait,
Okay.
3 11s makes 33.
I love it. Yeah.
30. I think we should just take the 33, actually.
Collective group roll.
Well, that's
Well,
that's
how
our
about
episode.
Sunny?
It's 33.
Well, this is Sunny's best saving throw, so she got an 8.
Interesting. Okay.
Funny how that
And
works.
how about Pieta?
Yetz is very charismatic, actually. With the modifier of +0, he got a 13.
Okay. So everyone falls under the spell
Fail.
of Lady Aphathil. Yeah. It's a high it's a high DC, and even though you're in the mortal realm, it's starting to get to you, and it has got to you. So you are all enthralled and enraptured by her words. And even though she is a very, let's say, unusual looking creature that you've never seen before, should I describe her again for maybe any new watchers out there?
Why not?
Or just
Why
because we
not?
like hearing her described.
Yeah.
She's
She's
really cool.
stick thin and stands probably 12 feet tall, even though she's squatting as she typically stands. Her arms are longer than normal and end in huge five-finger hands. As to her feet, her legs end in five-fingered hands. She's got maybe a 20-foot long tail, very, very thin, that's constantly undulating around behind her. And on the very end of it is a barb. She hasn't used that yet that you've seen, but it's twitchy always. Her body is shaded from the ground up from a deep, deep green at the ground, and it goes up to a lighter green and fades into a blue and purples as it reaches the top of her body. Um, Kind of like the gradation of forest into night sky. Her head is elongated on the back. It sticks way out into kind of a cage within which is trapped a glowing orb. Her face is fairly flat, no nose, two mismatched nostrils, huge insectile eyes, and a mouth that splits her head in half, filled with jagged, sharp teeth. Um, but extremely charismatic, and the power radiates off of this creature. And and so you watch as these mushrooms and vines that are growing from around where she stands. You watch a portion of the Feywild try to insert itself into the mortal realm. It's slightly unsettling, but you can't take your eyes off of her. And her voice, hanging from the willow treant's chest, speaks softly. You have done well, my mortals. Her large, oval, insectile eyes sweep across you. You feel the very deeply seen. She gestures at the chest of gold. Take thee this metal and use it against her. Arm yourselves with the items you need. Take what she leaves behind and turn it against her. Would that I could myself. And she turns away from you and starts to stroll away. Her voice and the willow tree stay right there. She turns away and strolls and looks up at the sky. And her voice says, "Ah, the gods have fallen into mortal form. All now are babes in this world. Their powers hidden away for this time. Vulnerable in a way." And you see her standing over there shiver. Her body shivers when she says this. And she turns around her head, this huge smile cracking her face and her head in half. The magics that rule this world in some places have fallen into chaos. The jagged, sharp teeth, so many. It's disconcerting. Chaos is at least interesting. She turns back to view the sky. So long since my gaze has fallen upon the day in the mortal sky. beautiful. Mine eyes have already revealed some of the bitch queen's secrets to me. A pair of locales, hidden and far to travel, yet not so far as could be. And she turns back, and as she walks, it's like she's stalking. You can't hear a ripple of sound, but her strides are long, and she's in front of you in a second. And she says, "Now, should ye seek my great favors, kneel before me and submit to my deeper influence. Join me. Become another of mine eyes." And a wide spray of mushrooms swells before her and forms a low cushion upon which to kneel.
She's right in front of all of us.
Yeah. She's this enormous creature, kind of looming over everyone.
Um, Pieta looks up and thinks about it for a second. Then, like, Joltly looks back up at her and says, "My lady, potentially, what I want to know is, will you help me be incredibly strong to do good in this world?" And he longingly awaits an answer.
She smiles. It seems like a kindly smile, but you can see these sharp teeth. You can see the tongue behind, kind of licking behind her teeth. She says, "Doing good, doing evil, these concepts do not matter. The doing is the important part, the changing, the purpose."
You're saying that the actions that you take speak, whether it's good or evil, it doesn't matter. What speaks is the actions. Is that correct?
She doesn't answer. She just keeps staring at you with these huge insect eyes.
Stony puts a hand on Pieta's shoulder and he says, "Pieta, there are forces in this universe that are far beyond our understanding. Our views are much different than the way that Lady Aphil might see. In essence, we are far too different in our goals. However, in that cross section where our goals do align, she has seen fit to grant us her power. Now, I know, without a doubt, that this power will be your own. With some conditions, of course. It is a contract in many ways. And then he turns to Sunny. Like Sunny here, Sunny has a somewhat of a contract that grants her power, but is also her own. Is that making any sense to you?
Yeah, your words are kind of piercing me. Ah, and he like just puts his like hand in front of his face and
And
thinks.
when he says contract, he does mean I have to do everything that Mother says. Just so you know. I have
Oh, Oh, I guess that's what she meant by be a part of me and do what. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. He turns to Lady Aphidel. Huh. So we'd basically be doing your bidding, but you'd grant us a bunch of power.
Not exactly. You wouldn't. You would, yes, be doing her bidding, but that would not erase your own goals, Pieter. You would gain powers and another goal, in addition to your goal of doing good.
See, in that case, I think I'm gonna do my own thing. I appreciate the offer. He like curtsies and bow, like head tilts. But I think I need to discover the power on my own. And kind of backs off a little bit, takes a few steps back.
Okay.
Fern has been staring very intently at Lady Apothel. And she steps forward and narrows her eyes.
Child.
You said she's vulnerable.
She smiles. All of them are.
And this power, this timing, grants an opportunity. I won't say no. Our objectives are in line. And she kneels.
Oh.
As you kneel, Fern, she reaches this huge hand to just place it on your head, although it wraps all the way around your head, your face, like it all goes all the way down to your shoulders. And you feel a tingle rise from the base of your spine that goes all the way up your neck into your head. What feeling? Can you describe what comes over Fern as you accept this gift?
It starts as this feeling of laughter that she isn't even conscious of. Just this kind of electric giggle coming through her body. And as it gets to the point where it would exit her mouth in an actual laugh, it intensifies into this pointed, kind of barbed, acidic sting that is the coalition of all of that power distilling into one giant thing. It is both sweet and sour and overwhelming and soft, but it is energizing to Fern, and she can't help but feel like she is finally on the right path to get what she wants.
No one else can see other than Fern's expression change. It changes from a solemn kneel to a face that's almost giddy. But inside of Fern, it feels like it lasts a very long time. It's like barbs or thorns are scraping up your psyche, but leaving behind the pain, and the tearing is leaving behind something that wild and potential and exciting, and you're feeling this lengthy like pain turning into just excitement, basically, to for a lack of better words to describe this. and it feels like it takes 30 minutes if you had to put a time to it, but it's instantaneous. It's gradual and long lasting and instant. And by the time you're done, you have leveled up to fourth level. Um, so, above board, above table, everyone, Fern has just accepted a level of Warlock with an Archfey patron with a couple little extra things that may eventually come up in gameplay. Um, as she releases your head, she bends down and her body folds up, kind of like a praying mantis with all these joints, and she extends her pretty much no lips, but she pushes them into like a almost a beak and kisses the top of your head. We are linked. You are another of my eyes. My power is in some ways now yours. Use it well.
You will see great things. I promise.
I will be watching.
Pietro whispers to Stony, "You shouldn't be concerned, right? Was that fine?"
Oh, no. Yes. Uh, uh, well, there are several people out there that do this. Maybe not so often, but this I would say that this was rather a treat to watch. I've never seen, shall I say this, a
Right.
coronation, a kiss atop the head. Uh,
Someone with an arcana proficiency would realize this is an amazing thing to watch happen. You've just seen a huge transfer of power and potential, basically a shift of potential, which you couldn't see, but you know is happening.
yes, yes, indeed. What we saw here is something very few get to see in their lifetimes. Peter, for that reason, I would encourage you to reconsider your
What
position.
really? Pietro's like totally taken aback. Like, I actually, I thought you swayed me the other way, and then I don't know,
Oh
something about
no,
her.
no,
She
no.
looks around. Is anyone else gonna step up?
Pietro's like,
Rick just standing there in awe and kind of steps forward and um uh uh magnificent lady, wow, you are really big. Um 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 I how do I say this? I um I fear a day in which our goals may diverge. So I will not be taking your gift. However, I look forward to allying with you in the future.
Many goals and many purposes. Now I have one extra, and she looks down at Fern.
that's really
Very
sweet.
well. I leave now, unless you have questions. But I will impart you. Remember, she's not speaking. It's the willow tree next to her, the dryad. I will impart you with a choice, or perhaps a destination. Um, she gestures her hand, and the mushrooms and vines combine to spell out words. They're slowly forming words as they roll across the ground. These are not my words. These are what my eyes have revealed. And it says, the binding silk.
Verb
Where
binding
have
silk.
your eyes seen these words?
As of today, in two places. She stands up and walks away down the hill, across the hill. She's just still looking around, really drinking in the landscape that she's soon to leave behind. But her voice keeps talking. One was found upon a dead cultist in the Underdark beneath the Cliff Keep Mountains below Cragmaw. The other upon a blighted druid in a hidden glade deep in the verdant expanse. In the moonlight ritual at the Mire Scar. Two words that you, or several places that you have heard of. The Cliff Keep Mountains are to the north, um, probably a week's travel to the north. Entry through Cragmaw, which is a dwarven city. You've heard of these places. You haven't, or I don't think you've been there. You've also heard of the Verdant Expanse, which is a huge forest to the south. Um, and the Mire Scar is a place deep within this forest that used to be where elves lived, but I think the history is the area was devastated. This is, I don't know, perhaps 1,000 years before, or hundreds of years at least. So people probably have rebuilt it, but the verdant expanses to the south, the Cliffkeep Mountains to the north.
My lady, do you know why she would want to destroy the forest?
Because she hates life. And I and the others, my ilk, are life. She would blot us out in the Feywild and on the mortal realm and everywhere. She would turn everything into shadow and dark.
We will have to turn her shadows into blinding light, won't we?
She turns back and stalks over to you quickly, a huge smile on her face, and she lifts you up. My child, we will do this. She sets you back down. You were raised up like 15 feet high and then set right back down.
I got really
We will
lightheaded.
do this together. Yeah. She's very happy that you're asking these questions. Find, and she's looking at all of you now, the meaning of binding silk.
Binding silk. Okay, yeah.
Other mortals must know of it. There must be mages, or worshippers, or keepers of ancient and arcane lore. Find her, lore to stop the mistress of shadows. There is the cobalt soul. Many of the elves have lived very long lives and keep the ancient lore. These are only suggestions, for the mortal realm is a hodgepodge of confusion and naivete.
Hmm.
So, these suggestions are all I can offer other than the locations that I've delivered you.
Delivered. Yeah.
Much more than we started with. And for that, we are very grateful.
Yes, grateful.
Do you mortals have a long memory? Can you remember these places that I've told you?
Well, I don't know about the others, but I am an elf.
Then you
Yes.
must know other elves.
So,
She
yeah.
looks over at Stony. What were you saying?
Well, you see, we have these things called writing utensils, and we use them to jot things down, and we are able to record these memories so that we may be reminded of it later. So many things
Yes.
slip our.
Elbows him really hard in the
I'm
side.
just explaining how mortals work. Sometimes our memory slips our mind. I'm only merely explaining it without any hint of sarcasm. It is a
She
strange
says,
place.
she says, how primitive. Well, stitch
Primitive.
upon your paper.
He turns to Stony. Maybe you should get one of those forehead kisses. I don't know, man.
Um,
Mm, mm,
and
no.
she repeats, in the Underdark, beneath the Cliff Keep Mountains, under Cragmaw, and deep in the verdant expanse at the Mire Scar. Look for the binding silk. And now, my time here upon this realm has come to an end. I am no longer welcome, so I shall depart.
I mean, you're more than welcome to stay, as far as we know. Well, wait. Oh, she probably wasn't
He
talking
looks
about.
back at the sky and stalks off to the huge log structure and disappears inside of it. The willow tree starts to close up, and the dryad is drawn back inside. Uh, and her face is looking at you, but her eyes are white and blank, and she's closed in. And the treant lumbers as it stomps up to the same structure.
It lets out a huge sigh and goes like, "Oh, yeah! Oh my God!" He looks at Sony. No way, bro. No way, man. You see how high she was lifted? Nuh-uh. I'm good. I am good.
Fern just turns to them really sharply, and she has this really serious look on her face, and she stares straight into Pietta's eyes, and she says, I told you the mushrooms were alive!
Okay, yeah. I kind of knew, honestly. I was just kind of messing with you.
The wooden
Like,
structure is now like coated with mushrooms and looks like a big soft, just a big soft mushy like thing. These mushrooms have just started decomposing it really quickly. It doesn't even have sharp edges anymore, and it's starting to sag. And she and the treant have disappeared inside.
Did any of us copy that note we couldn't read?
Yes, Sony, where's your parchment? Oh, wait. The note we couldn't read?
Yeah, the note inside that we couldn't read. It was in a language
Oh,
none
Wait,
of
yeah,
us.
she talked about it, I think.
Oh,
Lady Athel read it out for us.
Yeah.
yes, it was a missive to destroy all of the forest.
right.
Casual.
Well,
Yeah. You want me to reread it so you can remember?
yeah, I guess I forgot to write it down.
let's see.
Can
Just the
Sunny
end of the world.
actually take out the note and concentrate on it for a second and then read it using comprehend languages?
Sure.
Lovely.
I don't know where it is now. Let me see. Let me see. I'll find it in a sec. Talk amongst yourself. Do some quick role play.
Rip just is watching this building get saggier and decomposed ear.
Yetta goes up to Sunny and is like, "So that happened. How do you feel? How was that experience for you?"
For me,
Yeah, yeah. I noticed you were really like talking. You was that like weird or I wasn't like freaking out or anything. No, but like, how was it for you?
I just had the overwhelming sense that I shouldn't partake in anything going on with her because I feel like I didn't want to upset mother.
Oh
So
yeah.
I stayed
Oh my
past.
gosh. If your mother's, I mean, we met mother, but like, you know, I bet she could kind of turn something into whatever the heck that thing was. And yeah, I wouldn't want to angry her either. Oh,
Or mother's mother. That'd be even worse.
there's a mother's. You have a grandmother? Is that a grandma?
I'm not sure who she is.
Huh. Whoa.
Why'd you decide not to go with it?
You know, as Stony was talking to me, I came to realize I don't think this is what I wanted. I couldn't tell if Stony was talking me into or out of it, but I took it as a talking out of it, and at least that's how my brain took it. And after experiencing what all was the mighty Aphthil, um, yeah, no, I think it was the shit. I think it was the spiky teeth. Fought one too many villains with spiky teeth. I think I don't want to address anything as my lord with yeah, no, I just got a kind of a
Is that
I guess
racist?
I guess I got like a tingle in my brain. I don't know, call it a pieta tingle. That it just wasn't a good fit, and you know, it just felt right to
Okay.
say no, and that I was gonna do my own thing.
Okay.
Here's the note. You will cut the forest down and mill the wood and continue selling the wood until the entire forest is gone in all directions, and then you'll move on to the next forest. As long as the progress continues, your gold will roll in waves.
Hmm, interesting.
Yes, indeed. The gold. Fan, I know that you were not particularly happy to have these ill gotten gains, but it seems that your Lady Aphithil has seen fit to give that to us. Perhaps, as perhaps what is it, a compromise? We can count how much is in this chest, that is, and calculate later how much we need to give back in whatever way you see fit. Does
Pieta
that
like butts
sound?
into Stony and says, "Yeah, it's like taking from the rich and giving to the poor, except we take from the ugly and demonic and we give to the good guys."
Uh, uh, yes, yes.
Well, I suppose. But I don't want any part of it. You can take all of it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I won't say no. Uh, Tell me, before I forget, how do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yes, how is there a change within you? Do you feel your potential unlocking?
Tony, this isn't the beginning of a musical number.
I, I would not dream of it. I just wish to know. Well, how was it?
Uh, it's a very personal question, Stony.
Uh, oh, I did not realize that. Pardon me, then I will drop the subject.
I'm sorry, that was. It was electric and beautiful and hilarious and painful and wonderful. I imagine it's well something like being struck by lightning. Although that might not feel quite as hilarious.
No.
But something similar.
How compelling in all senses of the word.
Compelling is a good word for it. I feel very compelled, and she takes out her dagger.
Oh, the questions in here. Thank you for your insights. I'm going to back away this way, a couple of meters.
I would never harm you.
No, I know that. I just keeping clear of the range of those things.
Probably gonna stand a lot farther than that. She can throw him.
Ah, yes. I almost forgot that I put that little enchantment on that thing.
Very handy.
I should hope so.
She claps her hands and looks gleefully at everybody. It looks like we have two choices before us. Which one will we choose?
Wait, does this mean we have to start calling you Lady Fern? Is that how that works?
Oh gosh, no.
Oh, I
please.
love that.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
No.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
kind
Lady
My
Fern.
lady.
What about Miss Fern? Because there's like ladies like the
No,
older ladies and
absolutely
Miss.
not.
Fern.
No. I am still a very young elf, thank you.
Pupil Fern. Oh yeah. No, I'm liking Lady Fern.
I like it too. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Lady Fern it is.
So,
Yes,
my lady.
yes, my Lady
we're
Fern.
saying-
What are our two
Where-
options?
Were you not listening?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like the binding of the silk or something.
Or something.
Yes.
Let me remind you, you have more than two options. You could go on to Iman like you planned. Uh, you could go off in one of these two directions. You could find people that she suggested that have knowledge about these things. Um,
Oh, Fern's
or
not giving them
anything
any other options right now. Those
okay,
this
fair.
is the conversation that she is having.
You mean Lady Fern?
Yeah.
The others can say what they would like, but this is the two options that she is giving everybody right now.
You were saying?
The Underdark or the Verdant Green.
Sunny, what does that mean again? Sunny, what is that?
There were a lot of words that were said, and we totally know what was happening. And I think the Underdark sounds scary. So.
Yeah, the green sounds nice. Like green is like friendly. Green is luscious.
Right?
There's
Like
green is on the other.
forest?
Yes.
Be bad about that. Underdark, dark, scary.
Yeah, we were just in the dark. I don't want to be in the dark anymore.
Yeah, no.
Upon much consideration, Miss Lady Fern, my vote goes for the green. The green forest? What'd you say? Green, yeah.
Same.
Green?
I think they mean the Verdant Expanse. Do you guys mean the Verdant Expanse?
Yeah, do you know? Do you? Do you not? Do you know? Do you? No, what is it?
Yeah, what is
Ver- Verdant means green, Pieta. Verdant means green.
Yeah, I told you. Thought so.
I shall make sure to put a dictionary in your knapsack.
Oh, is that how that works? The words just translate into your brain as you're sleeping? Oh my gosh! I've been sleeping wrong this whole time! Thank you,
I
Sony. You're always looking out for me, just like you talked me out of accepting her powers. Oh no, I won't regret that.
no, in fact, I was not doing that. I was actually
I
trying
love
to
you, man. Thank
encourage
you so
you
much.
into
You're
doing
such a good
that.
friend. Can you be my? No, we're not gonna go there. Yeah, so my vote is the verde, green.
You are in rare form today, Pietro, I must say. Rare
You know,
form.
I'm feeling very powerful. Like we took down that thing, and then we took down a lot of other things. I don't know, and we're still alive. Sorry, sorry, Rip, but we're still kicking.
I lived
And
this time.
Also still alive.
yeah, yeah.
As far as I can tell. Wait, hold on.
I only went
No,
down like
still alive.
twice. I thought.
I
Okay,
remind
anyways.
everyone that she has just told us that these gods are vulnerable right now.
They're baby. They're
We may
baby
never
gods.
get this chance again.
Hmm.
Time is important here.
Indeed, it is important. But I'd also say that our preparedness is important as well. You give us a dichotomy of two choices, when in fact there are more than that. We have a chest full of coffers that we can spend, the likes of which we can decide how we will. I think we should use that to prepare ourselves and continue on to Emon. That is my vote.
Whoa. Wait, that wasn't one of the ones that she. Oh, there was more options.
Oh,
All
Sunny,
right,
should we
and
reconsider?
I don't
what
know.
would
I'm not good at decisions.
we do in Emon?
Why we would get up. I specifically need to make modifications to this armor if I am to improve. I am very limited when we are out on the road. Uh, Unless, of course, we find a magical artifact. But I'm very limited in what I can do. At least for now.
You're right. We
But we were given all that metal to just throw at who the the queen, right? She said use it against.
No. She could refer to it as metal, but it's actually gold, and it's money for us. It's
Oh,
like
Yeah.
not an attack. It's not a projectile. Sonny, it's.
she should have been more specific about that.
And that's what I'm saying. Why does she keep talking like
No.
she's
Well,
a okay, like a
the
demigod? Yeah,
spirits, they
yeah.
like
Wait, so
to
we got a
talk
lot of money?
in.
Hmm. That is
Burn
quite
thinking
interesting.
as these two idiots are babbling away.
Coin
Hey,
as
Rip
ammunition.
also agreed that they talked weird.
I'm just looking at the look on Juliet's face.
Perhaps small pieces of metal, if fired at a high velocity, could prove, well, it could quite dispatch our enemies in short form. But how to get the speed? Something fast, something explosive. Perhaps a different
calculate this
time.
on the road, perhaps. Moving.
Hypotheses for later.
You know what? I do like the idea of not facing battles and things that are way above our means, like that freaking thing in the forest. I think I'm leaning towards powering up Stony and maybe getting a little something for myself. Also stocking up on potions. I'm kind of running low. Looks at a sack.
Kieta, we will be fighting again.
Oh,
But
I'm not saying I don't want to fight. I'm just saying I like being prepared too.
you're right, and Stony is correct. Also, strangely correct about melting the money. Not opposed to that.
That is not what I. Never mind. Uh, Rip, uh, what say you? Where are you on this hot debate, as it were?
Well, I'd much rather stay in the forest, but I would also much rather you be prepared. So, I mean, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to spend a day or two in town. Actually, I've been drawing this thing. I bet you could make it for me. It'd be real. I could do some pretty cool stuff with
Oh,
it. Think you could gild an acorn for me?
schematics? A gilded
Shove a
acorn?
feather in there, maybe.
A feather?
I've been working on some designs. I've been working on some stuff.
Mm,
Just, you know,
how
The squirrels would have
intriguing.
loved that.
a gold acorn? I don't think so. It might hurt their teeth.
Are
Yeah, for that's a little insensitive.
do we have time for a shopping trip if we have to act now?
I think we have time, a little time, to do that. But we can't linger too long.
Wait, where is this green? What is this green thing? And where is it?
Yes, I
The
agree
verdant
with
expanse?
Pieter's sentiment that he's about to
Maybe we
bring
can
up,
maybe
because
we
I
can
too
go to
was also
Iman.
going to mention this. Uh, Perhaps we should pull out a map and see where we are in relation to Emon, uh, Cragsmaw, or Crags. I've written it down. And I've already forgotten it, and Maya's
Another
peak,
person not the best with
the
words. See, I'm not
verdant
the only one.
expanse. Let me
Much
pull it
too
out of myself.
exposed to all of this black goop.
If
Use
Let me
share.
ask you this, John. If I were to share my screen, would that totally mess up our stream?
Oh,
Yes.
It would,
yes, it would.
because
Maybe.
You,
I'm looking at
you
the
would jump
big.
to a different. You would jump to a different box.
Would there be enough boxes? Because I wouldn't mind if we're messed up a little bit just to show you all this map
if
on.
you, here's what I'll do.
What? Want to try it?
If you send me, or is it just a flat image?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
it's
send me
a
the flat
a map
image.
Oh,
that you can zoom in on, and it changes as you go in closer. So it's I don't know what you call it, but
and you could probably just put that application on the screen.
Or
it's an
screenshot.
interactive map.
Yeah, it's I gotta. Yeah, I gotta like condense it down and put it over the overlay. But if you send me that image, did you put it in?
Well, it's not an image; it's an interactive map that changes as you zoom in.
Okay,
It
okay,
reveals more as you go in tighter.
okay, all right.
Sick.
Yeah,
Do a monitor capture.
yeah. What's the link for that? Yeah, I can do a monitor capture for that.
Well, oh, we can shout out. This is a shout out to Red Giant Maps. It's redgiantmaps.com
Shout out.
slash yeah slash maps slash Taldori, and I can show you where we are, and I can show you where the places that
Ah,
you would need to go.
I enjoy that John very briefly became a recipe.
oh. Just windows, covering up my entire screen. Um, so
Oni
what is it
or
called? Red Giant
recipe.
Maps?
redgiantmaps.com.
If we were going to make a stony in a cauldron, what ingredients would we need?
You remember that story, Stone Soup? Remember what stone soup is?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just everything. It's just a mix of everything in a pot. Anybody who brings something, they throw it in the pot. I think on this map you can use a little tool to make distance, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Okay. No. I
Okay,
can't
so
figure it out if you can.
I do a display capture. Is what you
Can do
said?
that.
Okay. Display
Oh,
capture.
there
All
it
right.
is.
Oh my god. I am going to murder Discord. What is this stupid overlay? How do I get rid of this? Hold on. I gotta get rid of this overlay first.
Well, I guess we can just move on. Let me describe it. You guys are roughly in the center of this continent, which is longer north south than it is east west. So, roughly the center. And then,
Okay, there we go.
oh, okay, here
Sorry,
we
I was
go. What?
talking to myself.
Oh,
Give
okay.
me just a sec.
From where we are, if you go straight north, and you would be passing through across the plains, through a forest, up a river, you would eventually wind up in the mountains in a city called Craghammer. It will take a while, probably at least a week or so. Almost exactly the same distance south, maybe a little bit farther, is the Verdant Expanse, which is probably the biggest single forest on the continent. And dead center in that is the Meyer Scar. So, trying to see how far that would be from where you are. 426 miles away. That's pretty far.
Pretty
And
far.
from where you are, let me use that tool again. From you to Craghammer is about 257 miles. So Craghammer is
Oh,
closer.
yeah.
And then you'd have to go below it to get to the Underdark. So the Verdant Expanse is farther away.
How far is Amon from where we are now?
Oh, good question. Um,
It's east of us, right? No,
yeah,
we're east of it.
it's
It's
west.
west.
Yeah, it is 297 miles. So that was probably a week or week and a half, or maybe even 2 weeks travel on the job that you were hired on to be scouts. So they are days ahead of you as far as you can tell. You've kind of returned through the under through the deep green.
So I've got it. I've got it up, but I don't know how to interact with it.
Yeah. Well, I if we could share a screen, I could just zoom in and show you all this stuff, but if we can't, then we can't. And
I mean,
and
it's
anybody
it's right
who's
there.
watching,
Do you know how to
you can
interact with it, Juliet?
maybe we can figure it out for the future. We don't need to today. I'm just saying anybody who's watching can go to Red Giant Maps, look for the map of Taldori, and our home is just to the west of Kimal, near the throne of the Archheart, which is a meeting place for the centaurs in the hills above uh, above Gladewell. Gladewell, for anybody watching, is not on this map because we are not canon. Maybe we will be one day, but uh, we are west of Kemal, almost 300 miles east of Iman. So the only currently what you have to travel with is your feet. Your horses were left someplace. Okay, let me tell you what the Meyer scar is that she mentioned. Surrounded by myths in Singornian folklore, the Meyer scar is an extremely dense and seemingly corrupted forest that allows nearly no sunlight to enter. The dark forest in The Hobbit. And Craghammer, let me read you that one. Heralded as the true living center of dwarven culture on the continent, the stronghold of Craghammer is an autonomous city-state built upon rich veins of platinum and mithril. There is a road that you could take um, that will lead you to both places. It's not really where you are, it would take you out of your way. Okay, so with all that information, please continue.
Well, I believe the consensus is that we will head to Iman. Yes? All
Yes.
in favor? Great.
Fret
Uh,
not. Uh, our goal to become prepared is not our only goal there. We are also there to become more informed, for the Alabaster Lyceum is there, and I am able to uh, scout around. I know my way around. I may not have been the most diligent student, but I sure hope they take me back.
weren't the most diligent student, Stony. I'm
No,
surprised.
yes, well, they're all so stiff and foppish and egotistical. Just gets annoying after a while.
See,
I can see that. Yeah, I can totally see that.
I can imagine.
Good. I'm glad. Then I don't have to explain it to any of you. That's perfect.
I suppose we should start moving that way.
Yeah, it'll take us a bit.
Um, Rip, you can't, I don't know, turn into a pack of horses, can you?
Um, well, just one. I could turn into a horse.
Can it fit 4 people? Can you fit 4 people?
I don't, I don't think I could fit for you guys. I could like fit our stuff.
May I
That
Okay.
seems like
interject? As
Yeah,
the DM, I will say you're in a logging camp. You could probably find a wagon to hitch to.
that's
And one
true.
more thing, the people that you left behind are in this sagging mushroom
Oh,
Oh,
crap.
house.
That's right.
You guys get them out of there.
They're
there's
all
Oh
You don't
yeah.
want to
catatonic.
check
We
them
were
out,
ready.
or
We were ready. Just all right. Let's get out of here.
I thought they were all out already. Whoops.
No,
we
that was our
should
I think
imagination.
we're
We didn't
tied
do
up
that.
still.
we should remove the people from the mushrooms.
Oh my God, there's still people there. Yeah. We should probably do that.
Um, as we're kind of pulling them out and untangling them from the ropes we've had around them and
uh-huh.
dousing them in water and all of that, Fern is going to subtly try to coax some like livestock from them with no hard feelings, like try to get some horses.
See if we can.
Oh, you mean borrow them? Oh, there aren't any horses up here, but there are wagons and things that you could use.
Yes, and
Um,
the people are catatonic last time I checked, too,
kind
right?
of, yeah,
Kind of?
right. Well, they're
They're
not
slowly coming
responsive.
too.
They're
Yeah, they're like,
it's only been a little while. They're very, very slowly coming to.
Oh,
It might
okay.
Sand and red.
take
Okay,
a
they're coming
day or
too.
so to sleep this off or longer. Uh, and you could bring them back someplace, but it would be difficult for you, and you don't really know where you'd bring them. I don't
There's a
think.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Rip,
man,
are you comfortable? How comfortable are you pulling a wagon, Rip? Let's just say hypothetically,
I mean,
you turned
I
into
can.
something that could pull a wagon.
Well, I can pull a wagon. I don't know how time efficient it would be though, because I can pull the wagon for like an hour and a half, and then I have to like come back to myself, and then I can pull the wagon again for an hour and a half, easy. But then after that, I gotta rest for like a while,
Yeah, I bet that takes a lot of energy and hmm.
couple couple hours for every like hour and a half of pulling. I just doesn't seem super
Well,
efficient.
Fern, you're friends with the squirrels. How many squirrel friends would it take to pull a wagon?
Stony looks around and kind of scratches the back of his head, like,
Tony remembers pretty
Unfortunate.
quick. Most of the squirrels have been eaten by
Yes.
spiders.
Unfortunately, Sunny,
Yeah.
the squirrels have not survived these hard times. I haven't seen a squirrel in these forests well, since we've been here.
Well, does that mean we just have to like walk?
I think so. We should make sure that the people are safe, though, as they come to.
Does that mean we have to stay here the night with them? Or lead them with us?
Oh, as much as I don't want to, we might need to stay the night.
What time is it?
Morning.
Ugh.
Ah,
We'll lose half the day.
We could set out on our journey at night.
Could we leave?
don't the scary things come out at night?
The scary things come out at all times of day, Pieta. We've
I'm sorry,
fought all
milady, I'm
sorts of
sorry.
things.
You're right. You're right. How could I forget?
Could we just leave one of our, like, the little weasel to watch over the people and make sure they wake up tomorrow?
And this would be the perfect time for those mushrooms to come back.
Wait, you're a lady now. You can call one up, can't you?
wait,
First of all, I have always been a lady.
Sonny,
You
you
know
would
what I
trust a
mean.
weasel to look after a group of humans?
Well, it's not just
I
any weasel.
mean-
Come on, Stony.
Yeah. I trust them as much as I trust myself.
That
I
I
mean, we could also leave Grim behind.
What?
Wow, you were crossing a. Well, that was a joke. It has to have been a joke. Is it because?
I think she's mad at me.
Oh yeah, I think she's upset. Clearly.
Yeah. We don't joke about those things.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
Maybe that's how
do
the
we
weasel
joke
feels. Maybe the weasel's a part of Rip and doesn't want to be left behind.
I look over at Rip. Is that true?
I'm
Well,
so sorry. We offered the weasel Rip
no,
on part of
no,
my
that's
lady.
okay.
I apologize.
Well, I think he would stay if I asked him to, but I don't know what good he would do. He's only little.
Could
He's
leave
just a little
Cece,
guy.
but Cece she's been through a lot.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Cece, come here. So, Cece kind of very shakily flies over, and he puts on one of his armored gloves, and it sort of stacks up with the metal part, um, and little sparks kind of fly off the side. One of them is like a little flame. The other one is like an elongated like metal bit, and he begins to cast the spell mending on Cece, and it takes just a short amount of time, but Cece looks well healthy again.
Preparations complete. Thank you, Master.
You guys hear a flittering. Nice. You guys hear a flittering, and Nimbus says, "If you're looking for someone to stay behind, to watch these humans, I suppose I could do it."
How long have you been here?
Well, I came with the lady, and I stayed.
Right. Right. Wait. Do you answer? Do you answer to Fern now? Are you?
No.
Are you?
No.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
I'm just trying to make
Answer
sense of
to
this
the-
all. I don't know. I don't know what you got a forehead kiss.
Her. It's like a little pyramid hierarchy here.
Oh,
Answer
wait,
to
is
my
Fern
lady.
above? Oh,
I
Fern's
don't
actually lower.
I don't think anyone's above anyone, really. We're all just doing our bidding, and I don't know if you're really doing our bidding. You're just doing your thing.
And he
I
so
serve the
eloquently
Lady
said
Ephathel.
earlier.
yeah. Plus, like you serve her, so you're doing her bidding. You know, like
Yeah,
she
I
asks
am.
things of you. Yeah,
Now,
Pete like scratches his head.
do you want me to stay and try to wake up these humans? These people? They're
Well, you
not
don't
all
need to
human.
try to wake them up, but just stay with them until they are awake. And if there's any issues, and
Kill them?
What?
sure.
No.
No,
No,
Wait,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
no.
no,
No.
not that. No.
We're
Things.
trying not to have that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ideal outcome is that they're all alive and recovered from this uh whatever charm spell they were under.
They seem like they're bad people.
No.
I don't think they were on purpose.
Hmm.
It was
All
like that
right.
black sludge, probably.
Uh, I I'm not gonna go near that stuff. If it comes back, I'm gonna leave.
If
Oh
it
yeah,
comes
for
back,
sure.
come find us.
And you're
While
headed to the city of Iman.
Yes.
yes,
I know where that is.
Have you been before?
I haven't, but I know where you could follow the road
Yeah.
that runs all the way out there.
while they were kind of getting all of the people out and untangled and everything, um, Fern, did she notice any markings that might indicate someone was a follower of the wolf?
Interesting. So you're checking them all out. Go
Mhm.
ahead and roll a an investigation check.
Can I go to Stony and like so should we count this gold or
What'd you roll?
A 21.
Uh, it looks like all these people are just random, like just loggers. There's no sign that they're actually cultists that you found.
Thank goodness.
And yes, hauling out the chest of gold, you may count it. It comes to 3,600 gold.
And melted, that would make.
It's heavy. It's super heavy.
Ooh.
Well, if we're lucky, we might run into that guy we put in the hole.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that one. Whole
If
guy.
you're lucky,
Wait, yeah, that guy was cool. Why did we leave him again?
No, he was certainly
Cool.
not cool.
That guy was
Oh wait,
not cool.
am I thinking about the wrong guy? You know, the one that Sonny was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna put you 6 feet under or something.
Yes,
No,
that
it
guy
was
was a
that
Try to
guy.
bad
kill
He
guy.
just
us?
was not a good guy.
He was trying to
I
kill
mean,
us.
yeah, but like he was kind of cool. It's kind of
What is
funny.
cool about being killed?
Nothing. I'm just saying his personality was fun. He was a funny guy. And at the end, you know, it looked like he might have had a heart change of heart. I don't know. People can change, guys. It's
You know, the more that
oh,
I listen to you, the more that I think you should have taken the offer of power.
okay. Maybe I should have got kissed on the forehead. I don't know. Fern, can you just peg me on the forehead? Does that work? Can you?
Ooh.
No, 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 no. Just like transfer, like help me out with some power. You know, I'm already calling you my lady, so you know it's fine. You don't look as evil as the other one.
I don't know what is happening right now, but whatever it is, Can we put it deep into a trunk somewhere?
into the hole with that other guy. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that.
That was 10 or 15 feet deep in a hole. And I think y'all left him there.
Oh, he's probably dead.
He
We
deserved
did.
it.
Indeed. Well, if we do come across him, I have some questions for him.
So 3,600 divided by 4 is a 900. You sure you don't want some of this, Vern?
No. You can have it.
No, I mean I'm just splitting it with the group. I don't. Although
No.
Stony, let me know how much your armor is, cause I don't know if I need this much gold for what I need.
Hmm. I'll have to check prices in Imon, but 900 should get me something very pretty.
Good. Are we gonna
Glad we're
haul
all
this?
going to be very fashionable then.
No,
Do
it's
you want
not
some? Do you
about
want some of this, Vern?
fashion.
No, Pieta.
You just said we're all and we're are dividing. So are you gonna join it? I just don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure this out. Am I dividing it by 4 or 5? You just let me know.
We are dividing it based on need. So, as a collective, 3,600 is fine. Just hold on to it for now. Us as a group has 3,600 gold, plus whatever we have in our meager wallets, of course. But just
This thing's
hold on to it for now. We need not divide it at the moment. That is not
this thing's
important.
heavy. You want me to hold on to this the whole time?
You could give it away, Pieta. You
Uh,
could give it to them.
no, they don't need this gold. It's
Perhaps we should set aside some gold so that they may.
yeah, rebuild.
Maybe we can put like 5 gold or 10 gold in each of their pockets.
Would that be a sufficient amount to relocate them? That is the most pertinent question.
We'll relocate them how? This was their job. Weren't they living in Gladewell, I would assume, before they got roped into this mess?
Well, they technically need enough to like travel to Amon with the rest of us, right? With the rest of them.
Well, if they're traveling to Amon.
Yes, I'm concerned that they might not have a home to return to.
Maybe Nimbus should stay behind.
Perhaps we should stay and make sure that they are set to go on a journey, like us.
It's like kind of looks at Fern. I don't know if you would get the lady's approval on that one. You see her eyes are kind of darting at you and rolling. Wow, you're making her upset.
Rare form indeed. That is all I shall say.
Yeah, she looks kind of rare. Yeah, that's true.
Um, Nimbus, do you think if we left some money with you and perhaps maybe even some of our provisions, that you could help these people get to Amon safely once they recuperate?
Lips and I, yeah, we can help them. I, but I won't. I don't like people so much. I,
I don't like
I'll,
all people either. But in this case, it
these
would be
people
very
may try to
helpful.
harm me. I'll, I'll do what I can. The first one, how about this? The first one who wakes up, I'll see if they know where they are, and I'll send them, point them to the road so they can get all the rest moving. So I don't have to stay until they're all awake. I'll just make sure that they're moving in the right direction.
Want to take some gold and offer it to them just in case they need it?
We can make them a little table here, and she'll move over, grab some uh, logs on the ground, and kind of stack some things so that there's like a little platform. And she'll pull um, some of her rations out of her bag just a little bit and put them on the log and look to the others. We can leave it here where they can see it and they can do with it what they will.
Yeah, good
Yes.
idea. Good idea. And I'll join and drop a few days' rations on the table.
Hmm. I shall get rid of the things that I find unsavory in my rations. So here. Also,
Bunch of
Nimbus.
olives.
No, he likes olives.
Of course he was. He would.
Nimbus, you need not
I
worry about fearing the humans. You need only mention the champions of Gladewell. Mention our names. They should know us.
I like that. I'll do it.
And they're not so capable either. You can defend yourself.
Just
You're
I
powerful, little one.
fly
and
high in the
Clips
air.
can and Clips can run away if he needs to. We'll be fine. We'll get them started in the right direction, and then we'll come find you.
Good.
Does that sound well?
That
Thank
is
you,
all well
Nimbus.
and good. Yes, thank you. You are
Aye.
you are a friend to us. I am not quite certain that that has been mentioned yet. Our intentions and our goals were dubious for a time. But now that we see each other plain and that we have fought together, you are indeed a dear friend.
Her eyes go really wide, and she doesn't say anything. Um, her eyes don't fill up with tears necessarily, but it looks like they might, and her face is blushing.
I hope I have not offended you. Uh, uh, pardon me. What's
Stoney,
the other way?
is this the first time you've made a girl blush?
Uh, what? I make no one do anything of the sort. I am not. What do you mean? Blush? No, I do not do this. This is not my intention. I am
Oh,
incapable of doing it to others. What? What are you trying to get at?
nothing at all. Nothing at all, Stony. I was merely asking a question.
Hmm. Yes. Strange question. Very odd indeed.
Uh, two elves, right? Pieta is a full elf
Half.
or half elf. Fern, you might kind of know this that, and Stony probably would figure this out if he thought about it or if he knew what just happened. But the Fae consider friendship in a completely different way than people do. It's not a casual thing at all. Like they have political ties with everyone, and very little of it is actually friendship.
Okay, he has no idea what he just did. He has no clue. He doesn't know like the esoteric politics of the Fae. He just knows
Right.
mostly cold hard like facts. Nothing esoteric like that.
John, did you, the player, know any of that? Just curious.
No.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying that it took her by surprise.
was really touching.
I
Well,
appreciate it. That we're friends. She curtsies. Thank you.
Curtsy's back.
Friends. Well,
Yes.
friends, I will
Curtsies.
catch up to you as soon as I can. Uh, Safe travels. And if I don't see you as soon as I hope, I'll find you as soon as I can. Uh, Friends.
Yeah, sounds good, friend.
She
Oh my gosh,
rubs
that's
Clips on the head. Did you hear the Clips? They called me friend.
all right. Shall we
She
get going?
wanders off. Yeah, she wanders off to go check on the people.
Off we go.
Okay, so I've got a couple questions. Are y'all headed down the mountain back to the road and taking the road to Amman? Or are you cutting across country to save probably a full day of going all the way back down to the road?
Um,
Probably wouldn't have a wagon. Would we have a wagon both ways?
You could force a wagon and cut a path for it if you wanted to. A wagon is going to slow you down a little bit,
We don't have
Um,
like animals and stuff.
right? You could potentially find some. If you go all the way back to Gladewell, you can probably find stuff. But there's probably going to be a huge military presence.
yeah.
Oh. Oh yeah. Nah, we're good. Just gotta find a way to lug all that gold.
I mean, I feel like we were trying to go fairly quickly, so no
Yeah.
reason not to take the shortcut.
Agreed.
hmm don't mind
Oh
cutting
wait,
through the wilderness.
this might be a silly question. Did we decide that gold doesn't weigh on our person, or I forgot what we said about that.
We
And
typically don't use the gold encumbrance weight, but I mean, 3,600 gold in
yeah, it's
a
kind of a
in a
lot.
chest is a big number to just put in your pocket and walk away. So I
Yeah.
was
Yeah, even
thinking we
split
should
between five.
probably,
That's
yeah, rationalize it a little bit.
Okay, cool. Thought so. Just curious how that worked.
Are you leaving any gold for these people, or are you taking it all?
yeah. We gotta leave some gold for them. Maybe
Yeah. How many people are there?
because the
33.
You have no idea how happy that makes me, Jack. Okay, 33 people. Sorry, you were saying, Becca?
um, I mean, Fern does have a point that the more, in a way, the less gold we take with us, the less way down we'll be. Maybe we should give them quite a bit. I can't imagine we would need this much. That's crazy.
You say that, but I don't know. Stoney's equipment sounds like it's gonna cost quite a bit.
Worry not about that. I could find someone who would give me a discount. I wasn't idle while I was in Emon, away and learning of all the things that I need to. No, I was also making friends. Yes, friends, other friends. Isn't that amazing? I'm quite capable of it. No need to make snarky jokes or snide remarks. No, yes, actual friends. Anyway, I propose that we do
He
20
says
really
this
dri-
is
you're really
listening to a
driving.
person. Yeah, he goes, "You talk about us as friends like that? Does it sound like that when he talks about you and me?"
You know what? That is a great question. He
I
really
have
should thought that
friends,
one
damn
home
it! I
too.
have.
Weird.
The line is bordering.
He's never
But I
made
know
me
at least
blush
I
that
have
way.
one. Anyway,
You know what? Come to think of it, he's never made me blush like that either.
Yeah. Oh my God, am I not his friend?
I'm not making anyone do anything. Except when I
Oh,
try to
relax.
get you to do things, but that wasn't my intention with the. Never mind that. I propose 20 gold per person. 660 from our little treasure box. That's it. Well, 20
Do
seems
600.
reasonable. It's
What
a
about
lot
what
from,
about 600 flat? Just to like make a 3K. That's just a nice number.
but wouldn't it make more sense to evenly divide it amongst everyone?
Mm.
What do you mean?
Is this a real concern, or do you want to just put it in sacks and throw it over your shoulder? I mean, I'll
We're
let
gonna
you guys
put it
take
in
the money.
sacks and throw it over our shoulder. I mean, we're not taking the road, but still. That's a very visible way to move with a lot of gold.
Well, you should be able to protect yourselves. There's only wandering packs of dinosaurs across the plains.
Yeah, we could
Yeah,
toss metal at them in
yeah,
very fast velocities.
Exactly.
yeah. Everything went great the last time we came across bandits on the road. So,
Yeah, oh no!
You, of all people, should be the last person that's saying that. But funny. Very funny nonetheless.
I just feel like maybe we should only take as much gold as we can kind of like secrete on our own persons.
Yes, I
Oh,
think
I can
that's very
secrete.
wise.
Secrete away.
I
Yeah.
will.
Yes, it's going to be chicken, chicken.
Please do not use that word in that way. So weird.
Just you watch, Sony. I'll secrete.
Secrete
Never mind.
away.
Wait, so yeah, how much are we giving them? Who cares? Just throw them a bag. I don't know. I'm just gonna toss them in bags, I guess.
Okay. You can take as much as you want if you're just going to split it up.
Well, then let's go ahead and leave them at 660 and we'll split the rest amongst ourselves so that we can, each take on the weight of carrying it.
Or as a collective, as it were. But yes, that sounds like a great idea.
So that leave you 2,400? Is that right?
Minus 3,600?
No.
2,940.
2940.
Yeah, you see, we couldn't just leave it at 3K. It was just a simple number.
Your simple
While Pierre
number.
is still arguing with everyone about it, Fern is just going to start walking toward Iman. Like she's
So the question is, you're going to go back to the road, or are you going to cut across country?
Cut across
No,
to save the day, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
If we come across a road, we'll think about it. But for now,
So as you guys walk, you cross paths and things, but no roads, no official highways. Um, in this first day of traveling, you have to pass through the forest. You do have to encounter a couple of spiders that you are at the level now that you dispatch fairly quickly. Even a couple giant ones. The spiders are still very thick around here. Um, you don't quite know why, or you haven't found a definite answer why spiders are here, but they are. And you realize there are very few other animals still in this area. By the end of the day, you've left the forested area of the hills and have come to the open plains, the dividing plains again, that you are that the road basically cuts through all the way to Amman. And by the end of this full day's walking, you have come within sight of the long road that leads all the way across the continent from Iman on the west coast all the way to Drina or Drina on the east coast, hundreds of miles in the other direction. So you've come to this road. Looking at the road from the top of a hill, you can see it cutting through the plains. There's nobody on it. It's empty as far as you can see in both directions. The plains that you're in, the dividing plain, is basically tall grass like you were in before, with small stands of trees here and there, like every few thousand feet or so. Just very small, brushy, nothing tall, nothing like 30 or 40 feet high. The trees are less than 20 feet tall. They're just small, like scrub oak type thing. So you're looking at the road. Nothing's going east or west, and the sky is orange with the setting sun, and the wind is soft and cool. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight. You're looking to the west as the sun goes down. What would you like to do from here?
Have we started seeing critters again? Has the wildlife kind of come back by this far?
You're a full day's march west. You still haven't seen much, um, but out in the open plains, there's been signs of other things. You've seen birds, and most of the birds were gone from the forests. You've seen birds flying overhead and like sparrows and stuff jumping out of the grass as you walk through. Um, there are other small bugs finally. So yeah, there is some life starting to occur this far away.
Shall we rest or shall we walk through the night?
I fear if we walk through the night that we might stumble upon something and then we won't have our wits about us and could end poorly.
Yes, without much coverage here, I would rather not walk it with all of you at night.
Yeah, that's a
Perhaps
good
we
point.
sleep.
Who's going to start setting up camp?
Why don't, uh, Pieta,
Hmm?
would you like to work with Sunny to cook something for dinner?
I would be delighted to, my lady. Yes.
Lovely.
Anything you say, my lady.
Will that be all, my lady?
I I'm gonna go find some water. She like goes off to see if she can find some running water anywhere.
Some
Okay.
too, I guess.
Roll a survival check, please, Fern.
No. That's a 5.
Difficult to find water out here. You know that there are occasional creeks that you'll come across, but you haven't in this searching around camp.
And I try to find some like sap.
There aren't many big trees. You could try to find sap from like low growing plants, just a tiny bit. Not
Okay.
sure what you're
Fern is
looking
just
for,
going to
really.
in lieu of she can't find water and she wants to take some time away from everyone calling her lady for a while. So she's just going to kind of like corral a bunch of insects into a little pouch and
Can you roll
bring them
insect
back
handling?
over.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
No.
Okay, so you're catching insects. All
Yes.
right, good. So as Sunny and Pieta start preparing food for everyone eagerly,
Very, very
and you
hard on this.
set camp, Is anyone else doing anything special, or should we go into taking watches?
I'll do some foraging, get some kindling for the cooking fire, see
Okay.
if I can find any fresh plants that are edible and don't taste that bad, only a little
Um,
bad.
yeah, you can go ahead and roll a nature or survival.
Sure. They're the same. That'll be a 15.
Yeah, you can find things that you know exist. You like this grows on the south side of a hill, and I know I can go dig up these tubers, that type of thing. So yeah, you find plenty of food for people to put into stone soup.
Whatever configuration they so choose.
Right.
Going to be a lovely soup. And
It's
as
gonna
we're
be a
cooking,
great.
I take out a flask and be like, I think you need to take a big swig with this. You've had a hard day, Pieta.
Thank you so much for looking out for me so much, Sonny. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. You're so kind. As he like sips away. Mm. You know what? I feel like we should make this a little spiceful. I have some I have some nice things, and he like searches for some like spices to season the soup.
Sunny will search for some bugs to season the soup as you do that.
Okay. You can find, well, roll a nature or survival check. Either one to find bugs. What kind of bugs you looking for?
Literally anything crawling, she will add in there.
Get to like looks over. Sonny, what are you doing?
I got an 18 for nature, even though I have a -1.
You
So
have two handfuls of bugs.
yeah,
And
I just
Fern
look
comes
over at
back with an
Pieta and be like,
entire
"What are you
pouch.
talking about?" So I like start
What
just like crumbling them and
You see worms and roaches falling into the soup.
Oh,
it'll taste good. Drink up. It's fine. It's fine.
maybe like crush it up so like it's just like okay, and then Pieta like crushes like takes like a big log and just like crushes it up so it's just like little pieces.
Yeah, delicious.
Rip's
Yeah.
coming and
She like
going with
pours some of
plants
her
to put
flask
in
in the
there.
soup
I
too.
got plants. Yeah, as I see Sunny drop some bugs in there, I just, as she walks away to get more, I'm gonna reach in and grab some herbs that I have just on me, some of the rue and some of the cinnamon cloves and some of the just anything to mask that
Thank you. And
taste.
Pietro, while Sunny's away, he's gonna try to take the ladle and take
Oh,
as much of any type of
So hard.
legs or any type of like anything that looks insect creepy crawly icky wicky off and like scoop it and throw it away.
Most of it
no,
turns
just
kind of red after it
it's
boils.
it's good. I mean, it's good protein. Just get the legs. Hey, Sunny, just pluck
Yeah.
the legs off. Just get the legs.
Rip the
Get the
legs
legs
off.
off
You can eat them, just not in
and
the
the wings.
soup.
Yeah. No
Oh,
legs or wings in the soup, but you're doing great. You're doing a good job. Lots of protein.
We gotta think about the texture. We gotta think about the texture.
About this time, your little weasel comes dragging like this prairie chicken
oh.
out of the grass into the into the circle
Oh,
and starts just
oh,
diving
thank
into it,
goodness.
chewing on its head first.
I'll take a the tip of my spear and cut the head off and give it to Nin and put the rest of it. Start plucking it to put in the soup. You can have the
Okay.
head though.
Dibs on the feathers.
Okay.
No argument.
I'm piling them.
They're pretty feathers.
Yeah,
Kind
I'm
of brown
piling them
and
into a
I'm
stack
working on
for
another
Sunny.
puppet that has legs for spider legs and now feathers. That's all I got.
I like spiders. Spiders are nice. You like
Yeah,
spiders?
I love spiders.
Oh my goodness, that's so awesome.
It's my
Spiders are
favorite.
like they're like so sentimental to me, and like when I was little, like I like attacked, and it was like it was a whole thing, Sonny. It was a whole thing.
Hey,
I
Pieta, can
reach
I
for
take
my
that
flask
flask?
and yeah.
Can I
What?
see that?
It's it was for the soups and some soups. Yeah.
Are you getting in the soup? Is that your plan?
Yeah, I was about to, but I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to.
No,
Okay,
I
maybe
don't think
should I?
no,
Should I get in the soup?
I
Well,
don't think
just
you
a
should
little,
get in the
just
soup.
a little bit. I just want to dip my toes. No, no, my fingers. No, I didn't taste it until.
A finger, if you want to taste it with your finger,
Mm.
beautiful.
Wait, it's actually not that bad.
You
You can
could
call it
you could cover
sunny
yourself with
side.
mud.
Why would I do that?
Oh, it's a fun facial technique I've heard of.
With mud?
Yeah.
But I'm working on the soup, Sonny. Don't distract me.
Oh, sorry.
He like just keeps hurting.
Yeah, just keep stirring the soup. You keep stirring it. You're
It's
doing
gonna be.
great.
It's gonna be so good, guys. It's gonna be so good.
It already is.
You're right, cause
How many sips did he take? Just like one or two?
Took it out quicker.
He's very pure. All right. As night falls and you guys have eaten your fill of cockroach soup, um,
There's a chicken in it.
right. Uh, would you guys like to take watches?
Yeah.
Who would like to go first?
I think Pieta's knocked out by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not a good one.
You can take a different watch.
Disadvantage with everything.
Yeah.
Take the first one.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your perception as everybody else settles in for a long winter nap. Long early fall
You
nap.
see Pieta.
Is a 16.
Okay. You hear the sounds of night around you. You definitely hear the soft movement of animals in the distance. Um, you see deer cross the road from your vantage point. A small herd of deer pass over the road. Uh, you don't see much else, although the sky is magnificent. The stars, uh, you feel connected in the dark more than you ever have. It's like when the sun went down, your senses awakened. You feel like every star has a tale to tell, a story that's writ in the sky, if only you could read it. You feel closer to these quiet animals in the night than you feel to anything you've seen during the day. And it comes to you that this is new. You haven't thought about squirrels. You're now thinking about mice and creatures that scurry in the dark.
The feeling of connectedness to the nature around her and being under the sky while her friends are snoring around her. Um, she goes to instinctively say just like a really quick little prayer to the Archheart, um, which she has kind of done half-heartedly since her sister's death. And right before she starts to do it, she remembers Lady Apathel's saying that the gods were now babes. And she stops because it doesn't seem right to pray to a god that isn't so godly right now. And she ends up kind of dwelling on that for a while and dwelling on Lolth for a while. And she feels more and more confident, sure that this is the time. This is the one time she's finally going to be successful because this is the one time that Loth will ever be this vulnerable.
All right. And with that strong feeling in your heart and this connection to the nature of darkness that surely must come from the deep green, we'll say that that Fern on this night feels as energized as she ever has and can spend the whole night on watch, just observing and feeling it pass around you and not take a level of exhaustion. You get this night to be your own. And with that, we end our stream for today. And uh, thank you very much, players. That was fun tonight. I do want to mention something to our watchers. The next 2 weeks, I'm on vacation, so we will not meet on Mondays. Um, it's possible we'll get together one of those to just talk about how we're feeling about the game and stuff, but we're not sure. So we'll have to see how that all falls into place. So we'll see you again in 3 weeks. What's the date of that? The 20 something ish. Nope, the 30th.
30th.
The
Yeah.
last day of June.
I guess it's possible. I don't know, you guys. I told you I wouldn't be here on the 23rd, but it's possible I will. I'll let you know in advance. But definitely by the 30th, last day of June. So as the month wanes, we will not. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thanks for taking this journey with us on episode 33. And we're loving this game, and hopefully you are with us. So
You better be. Damn it.
You better be having a good time. You better like this.
any shout outs other than
Shout out
Red
to gay
Giant
people.
Maps?
Happy Pride Month,
Happy
everyone.
Pride Month. That's right.
Yeah, everybody matters. We love you all. Anybody else? All right.
Wait,
Good night. Oh,
I was ready for this. I was using the gayest dice tray there ever was.
Look at that. I love
and
that.
all those colors on there all mean something. And I figured out what they meant a couple weeks ago and forgot most of them. But anyway, it stands for everybody.
Yeah.
Even people you wouldn't even think of. A couple of those ones in the new triangle part, I don't even know what they mean actually, but I'm sure somebody is glad they're there.
A very
Okay.
diverse world full of amazing
Absolutely.
people that have so much to give to each other. And I am
And
so
how
glad to
much
be
less the world would be with less diversity. Cheers to diversity.
Indeed.
All right. Good night, everyone. We love you guys. See you on the 30th.
Oh,
Peace.
Jack. You think you
What?
can just end the show, huh? But you have
You
none of the
think you're
power.
in charge.
It's all me, Jack. Oh, you forget every time.
We're gonna stream for another hour.
You think you can tell John what to do?
All right,
And so here we are at the campfire.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Welcome
All right.
to episode 34.
All right, I'll
That's
count
what
us
it
down
is.
till the
This
end of
one's
the stream,
counting.
okay?
Okay.
No, just end it
5,
now. Why are you
4,
He wants to
That's not
some
even-
I
nonsense.
don't trust this at all.
Bring some more
3.
nonsense, please.
I sense hijinks.
Did you at
2,
least
1.
praise Bird before you left?
All right, we're out.